Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Saad Sangat Ji, welcome back to another session. We have covered about 8 Charitr so far. Today will be the 9th Charitr we'll be going through. This Charitr will actually be broken into 2 parts. So the 9th and the 10th Charitr is the same story, but Guru Sahib is broken into 2 parts. So we'll get straight into it. The screen is being pulled up here on the screen for you. Dohra Sahar Lahore Bikha Huti Ik Buriya Saha. So the village or the city that we're talking about today is Lahore. Lahore is the capital of Punjab, especially in those times before partition, before 1947. Lahore was the capital of Punjab, political capital. So even like Maharaja Ranjit Singh, when they took it over in 1799, that was considered the start of their Raj because the capital was taken over. Amritsar was considered to be the religious capital of the Sikhs, which Maharaja Ranjit Singh also took over a year or two later in 1801. So in this Shahr, in this city, Shahr means Lahore, Shahr means city, the city is Lahore, Bikha means within. Yeah. Within the city of Lahore, there lives a Bhuriya. Bhuriya means a wife of a Shah. Shah means a Shahukar, a banker. You know, someone who is often we say a Tanwant, someone who has a lot of money. Yeah, a banker. Onu aapa Shahukar kehte hain. In Punjabi we call them a Shahukar. So there's a banker, his wife. They both live in Lahore. So that's how this story is starting. Kamal nirkh lochan lajat he lajat mukhmaha. So this lady, she's so enticing, she's so beautiful that even the lotus flower, Kamal means a lotus flower, nirkh means to see, lochan lajat. Lajat means to sharma jandiya. That even the lotus flower cannot compare to the beauty of this woman. Chaupai Sri Jagjot Mati Tehinama. Guru Sahib has named this character Sri Jagjot Mati. As with every single name that we're encountering so far in this series, there is some message behind it. You know, Sahaj Kala, Chitr Kala, these are some names that we counted before, and there's been a repeating pattern to these names. Yeah? Guru Sahib is hiding a message behind each and every character they choose in Charitropakhyan. Because like we said before, these could be real stories like current events, but they also could be tales that maybe Guru Sahib has taken out of their own anubhav, their own creativity, you know. It could be stories that different sadhus, Mahapurush have been passing around. You know, it could be a wide variety of, there could be a wide variety of the origins of these stories. But the name of this lady here, her name is Jagjot Mati. Yeah? Jag means Jagat, world. Jyot means light, the light of the world. Yeah? Mati means intellect, you know, the light of the world, the intellect that is the light of the world, you know. That could be some sort of message underlying in this story. Jasam orna jagma mo bama. Bama means istri, a lady. There is no other lady. Sam means barabar, equal. There is no one equal to this lady. Yeah. Now Guru Sahib doesn't say in what form there is no one equal to this lady. So it could be in looks, it could be in intelligence, it could be in a wide variety of things. But I think it's safe to say maybe in looks, that there's no one as beautiful as Jagjot Mati in this world. There's no other lady as beautiful as Jagjot Mati. And that could be that the intellect of connecting to the Jagat Jyot, right? Jagat Jyot meaning the light of the world, Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, God. The that connecting to, or having the intellect to connect to that Parameshwar Vaheguru Ji, there's nothing as compared to that. There's nothing more beautiful than that. You know, that could be a underlying message. Adik torun ki prabha biraja, lakhta ko tarta tan laja. Torun means ladies. Adik means a lot. Yeah. Ki that she had so much prabha. Prabha means pratap or radiance to her. Yeah. She had so much radiance to her that lakhta ko tarta tan laja. Tarta, even tarta means bijli, lightning. That even lightning did not have that much radiance. Even lightning did not have that much show of light than this lady did. And again, bringing back to her name, Jagjot, the light of the world. So this was a upma alankar. It's a literal technology used in literature where the author can convey a point by comparing one person or object to another person or an object. Upma alankar. That's what Guru Sahib is doing here, to show how much pratap, how much prabha, how much shobha, how much praise that this woman had. Jagjotmati. Okay, so we'll continue on now. Highlight the name in blue so remember that's the name. Dohra ek raja atkat payo nirkhtaran ke ang. One day, a king. Yeah. Oh, atkat. Atkat means to get stuck in. You know, to get stuck in or to stumble upon and kind of get trapped in. Yeah, atkat. Nirkh means to see. Taran means the lady. Anga means her body. When one day this Raja, a king, yeah, he happened to stumble upon a city, Jagjotmati, and he got captivated. Oh, atkat ho gaya. He got stuck there. You know, he got stuck, and he got captivated by this lady. Rat mani ruchaman ka atahit chit ka sang. And then he starts to think that I would want to engage in a relationship with this woman. He starts to think that this is someone I want to be with, right? But she's already married. So nrip par atkat pei nit grah let bulai. And he one day or somehow he eventually is able to come into contact with her because he's a king, because he's a Raja. You know, she also becomes trapped. The word Guru Sahib uses again is atkat. You know, she also gets stuck. You know, just like the king got stuck for her, she also feels a certain way for him. And so what happens is that she starts to call him over. Grehe let balai. Grehe means house. Balai means to call. She starts calling him over, calling this Raja over when her husband is not there. You know, and this kind of shows the weakness in her love for her husband. You know, the Shahukar. Now the Shahukar is rich, right? He's a banker, right? So there was no kami, there was no lack of money. It's not so she didn't marry. She didn't start to cheat on her husband for money. That's for sure. That we can see from here. But it looks like she started to cheat on her husband because of how big of a personality this man was, right? Because he's a king. You know, who doesn't know him? You know, it's like a movie star. You know, a movie star or someone with so much personality or so much recognition in the world. You know, people recognize them. People almost worship them, right? So it must have been that element of the king that attracted her, right? Chitrkala ek sahachari teh greh tahe pathai. So whenever now the days to follow, whenever she would want to meet the king, right, she would have another woman. Her name was Chitrkala. Yeah? So Guru Sahib names his character Chitrkala. Yeah, and this is a quite common name that Guru Sahib uses so far that we can see in the Charitrs. Chitra meaning a tail, right? Kala meaning the creativity. Yeah, Kala means power. Kala means creativity. The creativity of the tale, right? Or the creativity of playing a Charitra. Charitra also means a play, yeah? To play someone, you know. So now this character is being involved. She is a Sachari. Sachari means she is a dasi, you know. She's a servant, right? So she probably works for Sri Jagjotmati, right? So whenever Sri Jagjotmati wants to see the Raja, she wants to see the king, what does she do? She has this dasi, this servant, go and send a message to the king. So this is the first time this is going to happen, and probably the last time, as you'll see in the story, that she's going to use this messenger, Chitrakala, right? So Pathai means to send. She sends Chitrakala to the king. Hey, go let the king know that I'm ready for him. I'm waiting. I want him to come over my house, right? Because not a normal person can go into the king's darbar, and you know, in that way, the king has probably a special. There's some kind of special order to meet the king, right? There's probably some kind of procedure, right? So this dasi, this servant, must have access to the king in some way or some form, right? She must be eligible to enter the king's darbar. So she sends this servant, Chitrakala jo sahachari so nirparoop nihar. And when Chitrakala meets the king for the first time, Giri Murshana hua tarana har ar sargeo mar. When she meets the king for the first time, just by seeing him, nihar means to see. Just by seeing the king, what happens? Murshana. Murshana means to fall down, yeah, to almost like have a heart attack. Yeah, Taran means the floor. Tarti. She almost, Giri means to fall down. She fell down by having a gush, like a heart attack. Yeah, like she lost her breath and she fell down by seeing the king. It's as if har ar sar gayomar. Sar means arrow. Har ar means Cupid. It's like if the arrow of Cupid hit her. Yeah? If the arrow of Cupid hit her heart, and she fell over the king, you know. So she's here as a middleman, right? So she's supposed to come to the king, let her know that Sri Jagjotmati is calling him. But on first sight, you know, it's almost like Guru Sahib says the Cupid shot an arrow into her heart, and now she's falling for the king. Chaupai Uthat Bachan Nripasat Uchare. When she got back up, Uthat means to get back up. Nrip means Raja, the king. Bachan means to have a discourse. So she starts to speak to the king. What does she say? Aaj bhajo mohiraj pyare. She says, oh my pyare, hey Raje pyare, my love. She calls him my love, right? She says, my love, why don't you pick me as your spouse? Why don't you make me yours? You know, I know I'm here on behalf of Sri Jagjotmati, but I wish to intervene and become yours. Why don't you take me as your partner instead of Jagjotmati? Here to main har ar bas pai. By seeing you, here means to see. By seeing you, it feels like I have been shot by the arrow of Cupid. Mo keh bisar sagal sud gai. And now I have forgotten everything else. You know, I have forgotten everything else. So this Chitrakala, this play, this character that Guru Sahib is calling the creativity of play, basically, yeah, the creativity of an act, right? So she's doing this, you know, there's this going on, where she's trying to intervene into someone's relationship, and also that relationship not being a very true relationship is a relationship built upon a lie, right? It's deception. It's where someone is cheating on their partner. Dohara sunat bachan nrip na karyo taso pog banai. So what happened? The king, when he heard that, you know, she wants to become his, he right away says no. He refuses her. Sang le aaye eh khaye ris kahyo saha so jaye. So what happens is that the Dasi, the Chitrkala girl, she inside, she's so hurt because she's got rejected, right? She's so hurt that the king did not accept her offer, you know, but she still had to do her job. So she took the king to Sri Jagjotmati, left him there, and walks away. But she walks away with so much pain that she goes straight to the Shahukar to snitch, to let the Shahukar know that what's going on behind his back. Yeah. So Chitrkala is now in action. Adil sunat bachan tehe saha turat kar ayo. Right away, that Shahukar, that banker, turat means right away. Kar ayo, kar me ayo means he came home right away hearing that like his wife is cheating on him, to check if she's really cheating on him. Lakhyo Tavanatriya Ped Adhika Dukhapayo. And then Sri Jagjotmati, the lady who's cheating on the Shaukat, she recognizes that her husband's coming. She sees him or catches when the king came inside. Maybe she saw out the window. She sees that her husband's coming home. You know, Adhika Dukhapayo, and she got very dukhi. Oh, she got very upset. But now she has to think of a scheme to get her husband, to get the king out of the house with his honor. Yeah. Mo nirkapat nirip ko jiyate maar hai. She thinks that if my pati, pati means pati, husband, nirk means to see, more means mine. If my husband were to see that there's someone else in the house besides him, he will kill the nrip. Nrip means Raja. He will kill the king, and then jiyate maar hai, then he will probably kill me as well. Hon ta pashe hum hu ko tart sangar hai. So he will kill the Raja, jiyate maar hai. He will kill the Raja he'll take his life away. And then hon ta pache, and after that, hum hu ko turat sangar hai. Sangar means to kill, turat means right away. He'll kill me, ham means me. He'll kill me right away as well. So she starts to think in her head that this situation is getting out of hand. He's gotta definitely kill him, and he's gonna kill me as well. Dohra taate agya kijiye nrip ko turat upay jiyate jiyat nikariye bhojan palo khawai. So she starts to think, I need to get this Raja, this king out of the house right away. And jiyate jiyat nikariye, I need my love. Jiya means my love. Jiyat means alive. I need my love out of this house. Nikari means nikalna, to send away. I need my love out of this house with his life, right? But bhojan palo khawai. She starts to think, I still need to, kyunki koi aaya gaya di, main khali hath nahi bhejna chahndi. If someone has come into my house, I don't want him to go without eating anything, you know. So there's a whole situation going on where she's going to get caught cheating, but at the same time she has so much more attachment for this king, this male figure, than her own husband. Yeah, that she sees his pains, his hunger, his everything as so important, but the person who she's cheating on, she doesn't recognize anything to do with him. You know, she doesn't recognize how much pain that this can cause. This her committing adultery can cause her husband. She doesn't take into any of that into account. Instead, she's worrying more about the king. She wants him to leave with his life, and then she also wants to feed him before he goes. You know, that's how much attachment she has for the king, whereas she's supposed to have that much love for her own husband, you know. And that's the way that adultery works. That's the flaw of adultery, is that you leave your own partner to go for someone else, and you give them all that love that you were meant to give to your partner, you're giving to another person, you know. But what's the point of that when you could have spent all that love, all that energy onto your partner, you know? And this is I'm not talking about a relationship that's unhealthy. I'm talking about a relationship that is healthy. This was a very healthy relationship. What happens is that someone comes along, and his personality, his persona might be a little bit higher than her husband, right? He might have a bigger following than her husband does. He might have something her husband doesn't have. And she falls for that. She could have told her mind that, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with my current husband. I'm happy with the relationship that Vaiguruji put me in, that God put me into. But instead she looks at the king and she says, oh, this is something I don't have. And in every relationship there'll be something that you don't have. Not every partner will be perfect. But your drishti, the way you see your partner, the lens that you are meant to have is that they are perfect. The lens that you're supposed to have is that my partner is everything. They are perfect to me. They are my best friend. They're my husband. They're my wife. They're my everything. And that if you don't have that faith in your partner, that relationship won't flourish. You will always be looking at the other grass. You will always be looking at the other lawn and thinking the grass is so much greener on the other side. And if that kind of buddhi, if that kind of intellect comes into your mind, then your mind will waver. Your mind will see someone else, they will see another person and jump onto that boat, if given the invitation. So Siri Jagjotmati, she wants to feed this king who she's cheating on with before he leaves. Ek saf beech lapet te taryo peet solai. So saf means safa. Safa is a rug, and according to the dictionary, it's the rug that Muslims use before doing namaz. Yeah. So namaz is a Muslim prayer. So when Muslims pray, they have a rug. A musalla is called. They sit on the musalla and they'll offer their prayer. To Allah, to Khuda. So she has a safa there. She has this prayer rug in her house, right? And what she does is she has the king wrapped up in the prayer rug, right? And peet means the wall. She hangs she puts the prayer rug with the king inside next to the wall. Yeah? She leans it on top of the wall, right? So that when someone comes inside, when her husband comes inside, he'll just see that there's a rug there. He can't see that inside the rug is the king, right? And this rug is conveniently placed in the living room where her husband will come and sit inside. So he'll be right next to this rug. What I picked up from here, what comes to my mind is that Jagjotmati, the intellect of connecting to the divine, right? The safa, the musalla, that rug that you're supposed to connect with, right? You're supposed to, for example, if you were to take that spiritually, that rug could be your dharam, that rug could be good actions, that rug could be nirmal karam. You sit on that rug and then you do your devotion to Akal Purkh Vaiguru. Then you're able to connect. Connection to Vaiguruji comes from your maryada, your rat, right? If your rat revolves around dharam, right? The dharam you have as a husband, the dharam you have as a wife, the dharam you have as a child, the dharam you have as a teacher, student, whatever you are, the responsibility, the law of nature of your role, when you follow that is your rug, that is the ground, in which a spiritual being will stand on, and then they're able to pray. Without that standing, without that grounding, without that rug, you can't imagine to be connected with that source of Jagjot. You can't imagine to, because your whole jivani, your whole character is biparit. Biparit means, bip means opposite, rit means that maryada, that tradition that you're supposed to be following. Biparit means we're going the opposite way that Akal Purkh Vaiguruji's hukum is. And if we go the opposite way, then we can't imagine to meet Vaiguruji, because they're on a different path, they're on a different spectrum, they're on a different frequency, right? So she's the Jagjotmati. that intellect to connect to the divine was meant to sit on this rug and to pray, but instead what she's using is she's using the grounding, that framework of prayers to hide her sins. She's using that rat that she was supposed to use for her own self. She's using it to hide her sins, right? And in the same way, someone today can wear a religious garment, whether that is a toti, a tikka, a musalla, a damalla, a dastar. Doesn't matter what tradition you align with. You can, if you were to use those religious garments to cover your paps, as in to hide who you really are, to make it seem like you are a saint, but inside you're actually, you're not even close to what you're preaching, just to hide away your bad character. That wouldn't be the right thing to do, and that's exactly what Siddhi Jagjotmati is doing here. And this could be one of the underlying messages that Guru Sahib is trying to convey. Jai saha aage liye bhojan palo mangai. So when the Shahukar came home, he looks around, he sees everything's okay. He sits down and he starts to ask for his bhojan. He's like, Tusi mainu shakao, I'm here for food. It's lunchtime. I want you to feed me. Adil bhojan palo saha ko tahe khavayo bohur bachanta ko eh paanch sunayo. So she brings out all the food that was actually meant for the king, and she feeds him. The Shahukar, he's eating. Once he's done, the Jagjotmati, she says these words. She makes this discussion, because now she wants to feed the partner she's cheating on with, right? The king. Paramiva ki muth ya safmo dario. She says, take a muth. Muth means a fist. Meva means like dry fruits. Take the dry fruits, take a fist of these dry fruits that you have in front of you, and throw it into the rug. Hon pare jitiye dav pare binhariya. And if you're able to make it, she's like, let's play a game. Yeah, let's play a game. Let's see if you can take a handful of meve, of dry fruit, and throw them into this rug. If you're able to do it, then you win the game. Jeetiye dav. You're able to play this. You're able to win the game. And pare bin hariye. And if it doesn't fall inside, you lose, right? And the Shahukar thinks like, okay, we could play the game. Dohra meva sahun shahule tehsa pitar dar. So he's able to throw all the meve, all the dry fruit into the rug where the king is situated. Khahe nripat tum pach sub aso kahyo sadar. And what does she say? Jagjotmati. She says, Khahe nripat. Hey, king, you should eat this. So she says it to him, right? And sunat shao chamakyo bachant rehe ko reh kahyo risai. And risai means to get angry. He hears this. O chamakyo means he got shocked. He's like, what? Who are you calling a king here? Why are you calling me the king? Are you calling me a king? Because I'm not a king. Ta mohe kyon raja kahyo moko baat bataye. Why have you called me the king? Kyon raja mainu kaya? I mean, what's the reason behind this? And he's now super alert, because he was alerted before he came. He was given the news, right? Now he's super alert that maybe what that dasi, that servant, had told me might be true. Tam rehat tero sukhi taso neho badaye tante main raja kahyo mere tum hi rai. Jagjotmati responds by saying, well, I live in your house, right? I'm very sukhi in your house, I'm very happy in your house, and you give me a lot of love. For that reason, you are my raja. Tante main raja kahyo. That's why I've called you my king. Mero tum hi rai. For me, you are my king. She's pumping him up. She's lying to him. She's trying to flatter him. Reej gayo jad baat sun ped na sakyo pachan. And here as well, this man, this Shahukar, earns the name Jad. And like we've seen before as well, Guru Sahib calls that person a Jad, a Murak, when they fall for the play. When they fall for the Charitr, that's it. You know, they're now considered they've lost, right? Why has he fallen for it? Because Rij means to be happy. He got so happy hearing baat sun, by hearing his own flattering talks, by hearing his own usti, right? By hearing that he's such a good husband, he's treating his wife with so much love, and when he heard all this stuff from his wife, he got infatuated, and he thinks that he now paid na sakyo pashan. Now it's he's goner. He will not be able to see anything, even though the king is right in front of him, hiding behind that prayer mat. You know, hiding inside the prayer mat. It's too late for him. He will now, because the mole has come in front of him. The mole has come in front of him. He's not gonna see anything anymore. Turat gayo hata jaso ut adik preet manaman, and right away he's like this is it. You know, my wife is faithful to me. There's nothing wrong here. Right away, gayo hata means his store, where his bank, where he works at. He right away went there. Preet manaman, in his mind he has so much love for his wife now. You know, he thinks that, like, you know, she loves me, I love her, and it's such a happy world. But behind his back, she's cheating on him. Behind his back, she just literally played a game. You know, literally made him play the game. You know, and like I think that's what Guru Sahib had made that that joint there of the game. You know, why was the game necessary? You know, to get the food into the rug. Well, first of all, what just happened was that the Shahukar assisted in the cheating. You know, he literally fed the king himself. You know, she made him feed the king himself. Right? Imagine that your partner is cheating on you, and you are feeding that person. You're taking care of that person, and sometimes that's how it happens. You know, there's countless movies on this and real life examples where there might be a male and a female, they might be married in a relationship, a third person comes along, right? And they take care of that third person with a lot of love. They're you know, maybe taking care of him, but that third person is learning about the family, learning about all the different things, and then eventually intervenes and attacks in the sense that maybe takes over the relationship, maybe starts to cheat on one of the spouses, right? And the other spouse will never know. They might be still taking care of that person without knowing what they're doing behind their back, you know. And so that's what I think Guru Sahib is trying to show, is that Shahukar is feeding the man who's cheating on his wife, cheating with his wife, you know, behind his back, you know. And she literally made him, she played him in a way where he's playing the game with her, you know. He played the game with her. He assisted, and he walked away thinking nothing's wrong, you know. Shao gaye triya saho ki nrip ko deo nikar. The Shahukar left, and the Jagjotmati, she eventually takes the king out of the house as well. She sends him away as well. Sunat baat atakop ka adik lod deo mar. And when she finds out that, you know, the king eventually tells her what happens, that they suspect that the Dasi, the servant, it was the one who snitched on them. And they got very angry. Sunatabat atakopaka. Kop means very angry. Both of them get very angry. The king and Sri Jagjotmati. And they eventually are now going to try to take revenge or take out their anger on this Dasi in the next Charitropakhyan. So this was the end of the 9th Charitropakhyan. It Sri Charitropakhyan Triachatre Matri Poop Sanbade, the Sanbad, the conversation between the Mantri and the Poop. Namo Charitra Samapat. Right? So 9th Charitra has become smapt here. Must afjun. And here in this Charitra, there's a few different things going on. Right? We have the main character being Sri Jagjotmati. We have a king, we have a Shahukar, and we have this Dasi. Right? There's 4 characters, right? And they all live in Lahore. Lahore being the capital of Punjab. She loses her relationship with the Shahukar, she breaks it off herself, right? She chooses another man, right? This man she chooses, we're assuming it's because maybe he has much more of a personality than her husband probably does, right? The Shahukar is banker, probably normal type of guy, goes to work, comes back. But a king, he has such a lavish personality that she fell over. Then the Dasi that comes into the picture, she tries to intervene. Um, uh, she tries to cheat on the cheaters, right, by coming in. But the king says no, and then through that rejection, she's so hurt that she was not accepted. Her ego is hurt, right? That she was not good enough. She was not better than Sri Jagjotmati. That she went and she goes and snitches, right? And then the whole play kind of tumbles down from there. So I think there's many lessons that we can dissect from the story, and Maj Kirpa that we're able to maybe come to a complete consensus after the next Charitropakhyan, because it's only part 1, there's part 2 after this. So Pul Chuka Dikhe Ma Bakshni Ji, thank you everyone for your continuous support, and I'll see you in the next session. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.